basketball. I've always been an athlete, and I'm like, I can do this. So that's how I got into it.
Yeah, a lot of ladies have that path, how they got into it, because athletic background, especially some ladies who, after a long time, because I played football when I was in high school, and played a little baseball when I was younger, and we get out of that regiment of training, working out, you get into the real world when you start working, and you don't have time to go work out or plan a diet. You just eat as you go. I can tell you it's tough, changing your life and then try to find the courage to say, you know what, I'm gonna get back in the gym, I'm gonna work out and train.
Oh yeah, and I during that time did hair for 20 years. I was a stylist behind the chair, and that's rough on your body too. And so, like you said, if you didn't prep your food at home and brought it with you to work, what are you doing? You're who's placing the order? Which stylist is going to go get us lunch today? Fast food this, fast food that, and over time, you're looking at yourself, and I was in a bad place. I was just in a really bad place, and getting into the world of bodybuilding, which has its pros and cons. It At that time, I feel like it saved my life, and I still feel like it it does. Because even though I don't compete anymore, I still prep my food on Sundays. I still eat clean. Now I'll eat a cheat meal now and then. Don't get me wrong. I'm not the strict diet extreme when you're competing, but you can't. Once you get in that mode, it's hard to get away from it. And so I still have that routine of I want to eat my food not every 3 hours. I don't eat 6 times a day. I probably eat about 4 or 5, if it four, maybe 5. And so, it's just I'm in that realm, but it's not the extreme. So
Yeah, yeah, because bodybuilding is a stream lifestyle, because you're changing, for one thing, especially for y'all women, you're changing the aspects of your body. The always the debate when women in bodybuilding is a femininity thing. How you gain its muscle, and those people don't think women should have muscle. But even just in anything, you don't take more than just you don't have to be a top bodybuilder. You just go and train and work out. Just keep yourself in shape. I understand, like, changing habits, because one thing is, I am a fat man. I know that, but I was a lot bigger before. I was almost 500 pounds at one point, because I was taking care of my mom and almost responsibilities of that, and taking care of her stuff, and just eating just because it's comfort, or just eating something because it's there. But then you make those changes. Those are the hard part about it. I'm not perfect, like I said. I'm not trying to be a bodybuilder. Like today, I went to the laundry, came back, I had a pizza. I could, I just wanted something. But people need to understand that there's a lot of work to this, and also a lot of commitment and consistency, and everything that's involved in it. Oh, we got here one of my followers. My man is his name. You got to watch out here. My man, balls deep. He says, "What up and salute." Yeah, that's his name. He says, "Good afternoon, gorgeous." He's talking to you, not me. He says
thank
also, Chicago in here. That's his Monica. He also says, smash that like button. All right. And also he says, peace and blessings, beautiful. And his last one he likes to say, he says, Schmo gang, 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 gang. I remember, I know. And you appreciate you, balls deep. So, what was that first show, and what was that like for you when you were on stage?
okay, the first show was April 14th, 2018. Crazy how I remember all this. Um, and it was a non-sanctioned show. Actually, Mary at the time uh, lived in Columbus, and they would do the Kane Classic, and the proceeds would go to her charity of choice. I can't remember the name of the charity, but it was for a good cause. So that was my first show, and I did figure and I did physique, and everything on stage. I don't want to. It's like I blacked out, but I didn't black out. Of course, I didn't fall down or anything like that. But I just got everybody in the audience was a blank, and because I was so nervous, because I'm sitting here going from figure, trying to do figure, and then trying to go to physique, and realistically, how to do the posing and everything. Everything just went whoosh, over my head, so I winged it. And my posing routine for physique, I just made up the rest of it at the end because I was so scared. And I didn't, I was like, I don't want to look like an idiot up here on stage. But after that show, I had got the feedback from the judges, and that's where I met marvelous Margie Martin. She was a judge, and she literally took the time to speak with me after the show. And she was like, girl, your conditioning was sick. It was like you were so on point with your conditioning. And I was very, very, very lean. And she said, but, she gave me pointers, how to adjust my suit. She told me I needed to polish up my posing. And her and I are still friends today. So.
Well, that's great. Margie Martin, I'm a fan of hers. I think she has a beautiful physique, great lady. She served our country in the United States Marine Corps.
Yes, she
I
did.
don't say, well, anytime who's something like I had my oldest niece and my youngest nephew was in the Army, and I don't say thank you for your service because you're not providing a service. I would say, as a citizen, I appreciate the sacrifice they have made for this country. That's, I think, is more important than the sacrifice you made. And Margie's just a top level competitor, two-time wrestling champion, multiple-time Olympic competitor. And it's good to get that feedback. And she had that friendship because, she retired in 2022. I would mind seeing her come back, but I understand that she's move on with her life.
We keep in touch. That matter of the fact, the other day, she sent me. No, I saw a post that she did, and I hearted it, and I said, "I miss you," and she's like, "I miss you too." So,
Oh,
yeah,
oh, yeah,
but we keep, we
oh, oh.
we stay in touch. She's a great lady. She's a great lady.
That's
And
yeah,
also,
that's good.
so,
That's good. That's good to have still good friendships with someone like that. And
yeah,
the thing is about bodybuilding, some people look at the sport because it's very competitive. And
it,
you, yeah, and you and Margie in different divisions. Margie wins bodybuilding, you're physique. So when you made the switch from figure physique, what was the reason why you did it, and which one you preferred more when you were competing?
I enjoyed physique with the way you had to do the posing. My brain just went.
All
Uh,
right.
your, your
Take a moment. She's the clip.
mandatories, your mandatories, and then your back double bicep, your front double bicep, your chest, try abs. You can tell I haven't done this in a while, and but I hated wearing the high heels. I really hated the heels, and I loved doing a routine. I enjoyed having a routine to music, and because I loved performing that. To me, it was just it was more comfortable being in physique versus figure. Figure, you go out there, it's like bikini, and you do your quarter turns, you do your all that, and then physique, I mean, you do your quarter turns, then you do your mandatories, and then you get to do a routine, and I enjoyed that.
Yeah. I know I've interviewed quite ladies who started out in one division, another, especially figures, that division started to evolve a lot. You look at it now. Some of those girls look like the women when Physique first came out. And I've known ladies told me that, yeah, they get tired of high heels. You got to wear, I mean, I've heard stories where some ladies had to take uh, a blow dry so you can loosen them up so you can get them off your feet, and some ladies loved their high heels. I know ladies who told me that sometimes she'd be on stairmats on hers. But like I said,
Or,
every hmm, what?
oh my God, more power to her. There's no way I can do that.
I know they like it. And, one of my jobs, I used to work at a strip club, and in high heels. That's the thing. You have to wear them because they were like a certain look. But everybody evolved in their own rate, in their own way, and you got to find the thing that works with you. That especially as your physique evolves, as you grow. And like I said, some ladies they love the posing. Also, let's say again, they love being barefoot. You don't have to worry about heels anymore, and you get to do more movement. Like with divisions, like with figure, I get a little more because those ladies they have great muscle aesthetics. Bikini, I'm sorry, because it's
It's
you know
okay.
I've
It's okay.
yeah I've done everything with competing
It's a tough
competitors.
division. It's one of the biggest divisions.
Yeah, I think I was talking to a lady who I'm confronted with. She was at Universe last year. It said had 600 bikini competitors.
I don't doubt it.
And yeah, and I'm to next week. I'm got an interview with a lady who earned her pro card at the universe. I want to talk about that. But anyway, who we have here? Shout out to Donald Collins. Welcome Donald. Give me a second. He says she is gorgeous and love her smile. Thank you, Donald, brother. Thank you. It's
Thank you.
my man Ward 2000. He says, get a second because it's not 6 hours. Good evening, folks. Thank you, brother. And also we have Chris Barley. He says, hey, Janet. And he's doing a little flex. So thank you, brother. So yeah, yeah.
Hey.
Hey, I just Janet. Like I'm like this. When I get a girl on here, a new lady on here, it's like the episode of Chappelle Show when Rick James, when Charlie Murphy meets Rick James, and not Rick James, when Charlie Murphy meets Prince, and Prince hanging on a
Prince.
guy named the guy named Nikki P. Shamar said, George got a new girl. She finds a motherfucker. These guys get excited when I get a lady on here. So now you turned pro in 2019. Now,
Yes.
what was the show and what was that experience like for you when you officially now they say now you're IFB pro?
What was that again?
What was that feeling like for you when they say officially you're now IFB pro?
At that moment, it was exciting. It was very exciting. Mary was there, and I don't know. It's crazy. It was like a dream too. It was just like, really? Okay. So it had, because you're NPC and you're competing in all these shows to get qualified to go to like a national show to try to go get your pro card. And, I was so new to the game and everything. So yeah, I was like a little kid and I got all excited and still, didn't, I was like, wow, this really happened. And being an IFBB pro now, and that's one of my necklaces. I have my pro card. It says IFBB, and I have my little trophy upstairs and my big, huge blue IFBB card that I got. They gave me when I was on stage, and people will come up to me and like they'll see the card and they'll go, "Oh, you're IFBB," and I was like, "I'm a former IFBB competitor. I don't compete anymore." I'm very humble because people do stop me in the gym. And, I had a lady stop me in the gym this morning, on the Stairmaster. And so I take my earbuds out. I'm like, "May I help you?" And she goes, "Oh my God, how long do you have to do that to get legs like that?" And I said, "Ma'am," I said, "This is just for my heart, for my cardio." I said, "But it's a lot of weights." Doing a lot of weight training. But, but I appreciate when people come up to me and they're almost like some of them are like, "Oh wow, you're IFBB pro," and it's just a hug and it's to me it's a part of normal day life. I mean, I'm not really going out promoting myself. That's why I was very appreciative when you asked me on your show, because I'm not one of the high tier people IFBB pros. I'm not a well known IFBB pro. I'm a bodybuilder who still wants to look good and and stay healthy, and so it's very humbling to the attention that I do get, but nobody really knows who I am. Does that make sense? I'm not Andrea Shaw. I'm not Martin. I'm not Janine. These women are in the Olympia. These women are very well known. Um, but and I have a gorgeous friend also too who she still competes, and she went from physique to women's bodybuilding. She's IFBB pro, and I support her. I support all my friends who still compete. But when they get that, they're bigger than they really get attention. I can't speak for them, but as for me being an IFBB pro, I appreciate it. I,
Give it a
I,
second. We might have a second.
and I'm proud of it.
Yeah. Well, with my channel, it's about giving attention to any ladies who do this sport, not just IFB pros, even ladies who are amateurs, ladies in other organizations. And it's about recognizing your commitment and passion for this sport. And, I would love to have Andrea Shaw on here one of these days. I'm a fan of Andrea's. Just amazing lady. She's kind of changed. I found this while I was doing, as I always try to do, I try to research about anybody, find information. And I found this picture here of her, and it's her, Andrea in the middle. Andrea is my girlfriend. So I
She's
think
very
she's so,
sweet. She's very
she,
sweet person.
this is a true story. A friend of mine, Eunice, she was at the Olympia back in 2023. I always want to bring this out because this is like, as you know, I showed you earlier, my other personality. He often says this. He says, if you're good at something, and he says, never do it for free. And this is when I do this stuff, and this is my payment for me personally. When someone like Andrea, who never met me or never saw me, or maybe heard about me here and there, we takes time and she signs this, and that is, we can see right here. She's telling me that how much she appreciates my support. You are the best, and and love you, and I love her too. I know I need to put this in a case or something, but I love it and hug it. I call it joy. I can't help myself. I know,
You
but she's
should
just
go
so
to a
beautiful.
she's going to be. That was Chicago Pro. That picture was Chicago Pro in Atlanta in 2021, and
Hmm.
she was there. She's usually at a lot of the shows, and I walked up to her and I said, "May I please have a picture with you?" And she was so sweet and took that picture.
I often people say how sweet she is. I know people who know her, work with her. I mean, she's just a sweet person. I think she's the woman that kind of turn around women's bodybuilding. When it was kicked out of shows like the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic, got kicked out of Olympia, and here comes a guy like Jake Wood. Every time I say his name, I can't help it. It's my Denzel from Training Day. Yo Jake, I want that money. I want that gun. I can't help it. Every time I say his name, I know a lot of guys named Jake. And she brought something, I think, where people were like demonizing like someone like Iris Kyle, wow, women's bodybuilding changed. But here comes, Andrea bringing this great look, great muscle, great femininity, just amazing. Here, this is from a man, Ward 2000 says, Miss Janet, great to have you on the channel. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Also, it says that Chappelle show skit joke is overdone, George. Probably work on some new material. Just say, hey, I'm gonna tell you this. This is I know this shit. Me, 5 foot. I don't change anything for another man with that to say. So you don't like it, Warrior? You can do that. There's my man. He comes down here. We always picking up. But one thing I do, like I said again, as one of my quotes for my favorite movie, Batman Begins, Rob Dragul talked to Batman says, Bruce Wayne says, "Beware surroundings of all time, Master Wayne. Never get your feeling what can blow." So I'm often aware of my surroundings. So I got this little video, folks, and you want to check this out. I'm going to pull it up here, and it is Janet, talking to Christian Dukes. Christian Dukes. He does a lot of the shows in the Midwest and around the South.
Oh
Great guy.
wow, that's a
And
flashback.
it's her, yeah, it's her doing the interview after getting the pro card. So we're gonna play it here.
Collegiate Masters Nationals. I'm here with Janet Bloodworth, new IFBB Pro. How are you, Janet?
Ecstatic right now and overwhelmed and emotional and just very happy.
There you go. Now, Janet's got a very, very interesting history. She's only been involved in the sport for about a year and a half.
Year and a half since December of 2017.
Okay. And you're a former hairstylist about to go back?
Former hairstylist. I'm not going to go back behind the chair, but I'm going to be helping out with my husband, who owns a lot of franchises with great clips for hair.
That's awesome. And I think a lot of people are going to go to the salons and they're not going to want to get their haircut. They're going to want to get your autograph, a picture, or something like that. They want to say, oh, my good friend Janet, you don't know her from a hole in the wall. But that's okay. That's part of being a star. So talk to us about this show. What were your impressions? Obviously, you got your pro card. You got high honors. But what was your impression of, the host hotel, the stage, the whole backstage experience?
The whole experience has been wonderful. It's one of the easiest shows that I've ever been in. And I've only been in 3, four right. shows. And so the hotel's been great. The backstage was wonderful. Just the whole overall experience. I came here looking for an experience and I got it. And I got more than that. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. So as a pro, I really believe that pros are ambassadors. They help bring more people to the sport. So if a lady sees this video and wants to compete, maybe lacks the self-confidence, maybe doesn't have the support from home, what would you tell her to follow her dream?
I'll tell you what, back in August of 2017, I was on the verge of a stroke, heart attack. I was 185 pounds. I made up my mind. I called Mary Ray Kane and I said, I need your help. And she started helping me with diet, and because she lives in Columbus, Georgia, I'm in Atlanta. And so we started talking back and forth. And
that's your coach, right?
That's my coach. And we went from there, and she's like, you need to compete. And I said, okay, let's go for it. So we went from there, and she said, you need to do masters. And I said, what? And she's like, you need to do masters. And I said, okay, we're going to do masters. So,
and now you're a pro.
And now I'm a pro.
And now you're a pro. That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. Well, finally, I really want to congratulate you on your big win. I'd like for your husband to come around. Just jump over here. And I'd like you to introduce yourself and tell us how proud you are of her.
Hey, I'm Mike Bloodworth, wonderful Janet's husband. Wonderful Janet, husband. You know what I mean?
He's wonderful, too.
I am so proud of this lady. It's been amazing.
You're going to start crying.
It's been amazing to watch what she's done. The dedication, the enthusiasm, the inspiration she's been to other people. It's really amazing.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You guys are a beautiful couple. Congratulations to you. New IFBB Pro, Janet Bloodworth, Christian Duke, StrengthAddicts.com.
That is so sweet. He got to, your husband, Mike. And how long you and Mike been together?
14 years. 14 years. We've been together 14 years. That's made me cry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know it's like I said, excuse me, I know why it's my computer. There you go. Yeah. It's good that y'all to
that video. So as you can tell, both of us weren't very good at being interviewed. It just those feelings at that moment, it was surreal. So it was exciting. Yeah. Do I miss it? Yeah, I do. I miss competing.
Yeah. And just give it more folks like she want to get herself together because it's just because it is like I said. Well, like I said again, I always want to really highlight somebody when we have you on my channel. That's why a video something like that, I want to share it because you know what, it really let people know who you are, where you come from. I mean, it's a lot of work to do the sport, especially for a woman. Because one thing I keep like this, it costs y'all ladies more to compete compared to the men. The guys got to wear a pair of banana hammocks and board shorts. That's about it. Y'all ladies have to present both muscle and femininity. You have to have your hair and makeup done. You have to have your suits, which cost a good chunk of change right there.
Oh my God!
And yeah, and there's so much evolving with it because people don't understand. Like I said again, like we talked earlier, when people go to shows and we see y'all competitors, we see these athletes who are just in top shape, y'all shredded, ripped, y'all vascular, y'all just look amazing. But we don't understand what took you to get there. Starvation, dehydration, sleepless nights, workout, training, consistent diet. I mean, so much that's involved to get that level. You can't keep that look all year round. You know, it's impossible to stay shredded.
You can't. You can't. And that's kind of that's hard when you look like a Greek god or goddess that shredded on stage, and even, you know, a couple weeks before and a couple weeks afterwards, even maybe a month afterward, you can't maintain it. But you know, while you're still competing, you know that you're that next year, going into that next year, you're going to fine tune what you already have, and you know you can look that way again. But when you no longer compete, and you know you're not going into that next year, and you know you're not going to be that shredded, it it messed with my head. It messed with my head. I saved all my pictures, because sometimes I have to go back and look and just go, wow, I did that. You have to be very disciplined to do that. And it's it messed with my head. And, you know, sometimes now it's like, you know, people are like, are you going to compete again? And I'm like, no. And sometimes I hesitate, and they'll go, oh, are you going to compete? You know, a lot of my girlfriends are like, Janet, please don't do it. Please, please, please don't do it. You know, because it's hard on the body. It's very hard on the body. I'm in a good place now. It took getting the end of 2021, going into 2022, going in even 23, 24, you know, you think, you go, okay, maybe I want to do that again. and my husband's like, oh, please don't. That's so extreme. So it's like, you know, 2 weeks before he'd leave, you know, because you're in that hangry mode. And but I would go to the shows, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to compete again. I went to Tampa Pro last year to support my girlfriends. And that's the first show that I went to that I sat there and I was able to be a spectator, and I was comfortable with it. I was comfortable with it. So
Yeah, it's tough, especially the work you put and time you put into the sport, and just to walk away from it. I know, I just because you say you did Tampa. I know one lady who hadn't competed almost 10 years. That's Tina Chandler. She came back and she looked great. She did Atlanta first, and then she did Tampa, and she looked great. You know, especially she's been Olympic, a multi-time Olympic competitor herself. And I know the friends you're talking about is Janine and another lady that was at the show. There's a picture of y'all together,
yeah,
and it's tough seeing that in back of your head. It's like with a fighter. Like you saw a while back, Mike Tyson came back. He fought Jake Paul. That was kind of disappointing, But it's just like I said, the sport has changed, has evolved. Here we got here from a man, Warrior says, you have to excuse George Janet. He gets all flustered and smitten over Andrea Shaw every time he's mentioned in his own way to or fashion. Hey, I can't help it. She's so beautiful. I can't
she
help it. Yo,
is.
yo. And also he says like this says, the romantic crush is real. Yes. Also, we have here a Jay Gibson. He says, fire. Appreciate you, Jay. And also, once more, we have another one from my warrior. It says, man, I tell you, that interviewer guy looks like Senator John Fetterman from the side. I ain't lying. Yeah, guy
Are
looks
you
like,
talking about the video when my
yeah,
interview? Yeah, I thought
yeah,
the same thing at first. I was like, he looks like Fetterman.
yeah. I know Christian, he does a lot of interviews. I don't think he mostly does a lot of stuff in the Midwest and in the South areas too. He don't do too much now like he used to. I think he might be cutting back, or I know he maybe not as active as. But anyway, folks, what we're gonna do while we have Janet here, and if you want to follow her links are description of the live of this video. If you want to check her out, you want to follow her, you want to reach out to her, support her, whatever, just click on the links, follow her. But here's the thing, I do this, Janet, as a disclaimer to any guys out there. Guys, this is a nice lady. Took time to talk with me, very respectful. Guys, know the pics. Stop it. Get some help. Don't do it. I mean, I tell you, I hear stories how guys, I know, like I said, I know I'm a muscle person, y'all ladies excite me, but I wouldn't want to see something that may be offensive like that. Some guys are sick like that. So, folks, we're going to jump into Janet's social media for a bit. You want to follow her? The links are in the description of this live stream. And here's some nice photos here. Like, this is right here wearing the red. When was this?
That was that was actually on the Las Vegas Strip in, when was that? It was June of 2023. And I did a photo shoot with a very well-known photographer in the industry, Sean Nelson.
I interviewed Sean a while back. He's a pretty good dude. He would give some information.
He's a very good photographer. Very, very comfortable to work